Hello guys, welcome to another video. So in this session, we will deploy Guacamole first and then we'll integrate it with Google IDP. The challenge with Google IDP is that you typically don't get metadata URL, so we'll use an alternate method there. So let's get started. So first and foremost, let me create a instance in my AWS server. Let me just name it as Guacamole. And you have to select Ubuntu here. 24.04 will be okay. The instance, I'll change it as T2 small just to get a bit better performance. Key pair, let me select my key pair. VPC subnet, you can edit as required, and it should allow SSH, and also you have to allow HTTPS. HTTP is also required, so that's required basically to generate Let's Encrypt certificate. And we also need to add access for 81 port. So let me just add another rule here. Port will be 81. Host type will be anywhere. Yeah, 81, 8443, 22. I think we should be good. So let me click on launch instance and I will map it with the elastic IP address. I already have A records hosted. So you need to create and host A record first and foremost, because otherwise you will not be able to create and generate certificates. So that's required for proper functioning of Guacamole and NGINX. So our instance is getting launched. Meanwhile, we'll just go to Elastic IP. And here, this Elastic IP, I'll say associate with the instance, and Guacamole is our instance. Let me just revalidate. Yes, Guacamole is our instance. So I'll just associate it with the Guacamole. Okay, so our server should be ready. Where is our server? Okay. Yes, this is our server, so we can see it running. Let me connect to it using PuTTY. Okay, NGINX, accept. So I'm inside the server. Sudo apt update. So first and foremost, we'll update it, and sudo apt upgrade -y, and we'll give it a moment. So next, what we will do here is we'll install Docker and Docker Compose, and then configure Docker to be run without sudo. So let's just give it a moment. Okay. So there are KB articles on how you can deploy Docker on Ubuntu. Pretty straightforward, simple process. You can follow me, and anyways, you can just Google, or I will also leave this link into the description to assist you to be able to deploy Docker and Docker Compose. Yeah, our upgrade is done. Perfect. So we'll now install Docker and Docker Compose. So this is step we have already done. Anyways, we'll check once again. Sudo apt get install CS certificate curl. So let's install this one. Okay, it's already installed. Next will be links, and okay, Docker GPG sudo ch a plus r docker.esc. Now we'll add the repository to apt sources. So let me just copy this command here and enter. and I'll update once again. Okay, now to install the latest version, I'll run this command y, and after that I can verify if it's installed or not. Okay, so it will basically pull the hello world image from Docker, and yeah, hello from Docker. So that means our installation is successful. We have Docker deployed here. I also would prefer to be able to run Docker command without sudo. So to do that, you just have to use a single command, sudo user mode -a capital G Docker user. So let me just do that. And after this command, you just need to uh, exit and reconnect, right? So I'll just duplicate and close the earlier session. Great. So we have deployed Docker and Docker Compose here. Next, I have this GitHub repository here uh, where I have Docker Compose YML. Sorry, let me just go to the right repository. Where's the right repository? Google. Okay. So to Guacamole. No, that's not the right one. Docker, Guacamole. Yeah, let me go to repositories. Docker, yeah. SAML 2.0, Google IDP. I will leave a link of this one in the description of the video, so you can find it easily. And Docker Compose YML and .env, right? So let's create a directory. Currently, we are in our home directory, home Ubuntu. I'll say sudo mkdir guacamole -setup, and let's move to this directory, and I'll create Docker Compose and .env file. Sudo vi docker -compose .yaml. Let me quickly explain this one. So Gucti is the backend daemon which does the backend magic for Guacamole to be able to connect to RDP and SSH services. Guacamole DB is basically the database container. We will be using MySQL for this one, the latest version 8.0 at this time. And then we have Guacamole. So Guacamole is our front end, and you can see I have hashed the SAML parameters for now. So we'll enable it later on. And then we are also deploying NGINX Proxy Manager. So you see the database for npm, and again we are using MySQL here, and then NGINX Proxy Manager container, right? So let me just copy a raw file here, and I'll paste it. So okay, colon wq, we should be good. And now we'll also create .env file. Here is my env file. So just keep in mind I have put some default passwords here. Please make sure to change these passwords for security reasons. Okay, for now I'll go ahead with these passwords because for me I will be scrapping this VM after the configuration. Okay, let me save it here. Okay. Okay, so let's try to start the Docker container. Docker compose up -d. You may encounter some minor issues, so just keep in mind, be ready for troubleshooting. It's always a good idea for each step to, validate before you move to the next step. So let's give it a moment. basically pulling the Docker containers and setting it up for us. Okay. Okay, I think we are there. Okay, cool. So let's see if our Docker containers are up. Docker ps-a and sure, up 10 second, up 12 second. Okay, so looks like our containers are set, which is a good thing. So next we have to initialize the Guacamole database. Okay. Uh, to do that, we have to download the schema file. I will again leave these commands in the description so you don't worry about these commands for now. So let's download it here. Okay. Did I miss something? Duplicate permission denied. Let me do it with sudo. Oh, sorry. Instead of sudo, I did something else. Okay. Yeah, with sudo, I am able to download. Perfect. So next I'll extract this package. Okay. Sudo. Okay. So extraction is complete, and we have to go to the schema directory. So I'll just put the path here. pwd. Yeah. Ubuntu Guacamole setup, Guacamole. Yeah, we are in the schema directory. Super. Then we have to copy initialization script. So there are two scripts here that we need to copy into MySQL database container. So I'll just follow these commands one by one. Okay. Okay, so first script is copied. Let me copy the second script also. It's copied. And then we have to execute these SQL script inside the MySQL Guacamole underscore DB container. To do that, we will first connect to Guacamole DB container. So let me use this command here. Next, we will log into MySQL inside the container. To do that, yeah, MySQL -u root -p, and then you have to give password. So let me put password. Okay, I am connected to MySQL, and then I need to execute the initialization scripts. Okay. Perfect. Query is okay. So it has accepted my queries, which is great. Bye. And next, let's so like I said, each step, it's a good idea to validate if we are on the right path. So next we'll try to connect to our NGINX server and configure Guacamole for web access. So to do that, I'll just open my FQDN calling 81. So keep in mind, NGINX is running on 81. That's why we have allowed the 81 port initially. Okay, so it will not be a secured connection, of course. The username will be admin@example.com. That is the default username for NGINX. And password will be change me. Bad gateway. Looks like there's some kind of issue with our NGINX containers. So let's do some troubleshooting here. Docker -a. Okay, where's our NGINX container? Yeah, NGINX proxy manager. So I'll say docker logs NGINX proxy manager. Oh, sorry, we are in the wrong directory. Let me come back. Okay. Yeah. Now we are in the right directory. Sorry, no. Okay. NGINX proxy docker logs. Oh, sorry, which is docker logs nginx underscore proxy underscore manager. Okay, so yeah, looks like there is a authentication error. So I think MySQL is using cache SHA-2 plugin that is not supported here. So what we will do is we will go back and connect to the container and change the SQL authentication mode. Okay, so let's connect to the database. So we'll connect to the npm db MySQL container using this command. Okay, um, you have to give the password. Okay, so we are connected to the MySQL container, and next you need to use this command, altered user. So basically we are changing the npm users login method. Let me just, okay, alter user npm user identified with MySQL native password by npm password. Okay, query choosing okay, flash privileges, and then this command will tell us if what changes are successful. So I'll say select user host plugin from MySQL user, and if you see for npm user, plugin is set up to MySQL native password, then we are good. Okay, so let's exit from this one and restart our Docker container. Docker compose down ampersand Docker compose up -d. Okay, so our containers are recreated. Let's see if we are able to log in now. So username is admin@example.com. Password will be change.me. Okay, so we are login, and here you can change the user. I'll change it as Kumar AS. So nickname will be Kumar at securityfocal.com. Let me save it. You need to give the password. So first will be the current password and then the new password. Okay, saved. Now we'll go into the host, proxy host, and add proxy host for our Guacamole server. So guac.securityfocal.com. So that's basically the FQDN for my Guacamole server. Remember, I've already created a record for this one. Forward hostname oblique IP address. Okay, so forward hostname IP address, we'll just go to our virtual machine and see the IP address. Our private IP address is 172.137.32. So that's it. Forward port will be 8080. You remember to enable the WebSocket support because that is required, and then go to SSL, and here you have to enable request a new certificate, force SSL, and any other features if you want to enable, you can enable. After that, you have to agree to the let's encrypt terms of service and save this one. Give it a moment to create the certificate in the backend. And yes, our certificate is ready. Now let's see if we are able to access our Guacamole server. So to do that, you have to enter your FQDN followed by Guacamole slash, right? So let me do that. Okay, we are able to see our Guacamole interface, so which is really good. So the default username and password is gucadmin, and we are able to log in. Now, before we integrate it with our Google IDP, what we will do is we'll create a local user here for our Google IDP user, and we'll give it administrative permission because once we configure the SAML integration, right, then we'll not be able to come back and log in as gucadmin. So to do that, I'll go to users and then new user. I'll name this user as Abhishek. Uh, Let me just put it as Abhishek at coinsprinter.com. Okay, so allow password. Let me just give it some password. Anyways, it'll get authenticated with Google, right? So it's irrelevant as such. Full name, let me say Abhishek F. Dot. Okay, Abhishek at coinsprinter.com. Nation and role, I'll leave blank. And then permission, right? So I'll give it all the permission to be able to create the users and give them different permissions, create connections and so on and so forth, right? So let me just save it. Okay, we should be good. So we have the admin user created here. Let's log out now. So next what we need to do is we can close this one. Next what we need to do is we need to enable the SAML plugin. So to do that, first we need to download and place the jar file at the right path. So to do that, again, I'll leave this commands in the GitHub repository, and I'll leave a link to this one in the video description, so you don't worry about this one. Here, let's download the SAML file. Sorry, I need to do a sudo because otherwise it will not allow me to do that. So I'll say sudo wget, and yeah, my file is downloaded. Great. Now let's unzip it. Okay, and then I'll create a directory sudo mkdir. So basically in the Guacamole setup in Guacamole and extensions. Okay, and then I'll copy this SAML file into the extension directory. Okay, so sudo cp. Okay, cannot select. What's this? ls-al Guacamole auth gdbc 155 Guacamole auth sso Guacamole auth. Okay. Okay. Did I just one? Okay. We need to do it with the sudo. Okay. Perfect. So our directory is okay. Now let me move copy this file into extensions directory, and I am able to do it with sudo now. And then, okay, we have already configured NGINX and created a admin user for Google IDP. So we should be good. Now what we need to do is we just need to restart the Docker container once again. Docker compose down, docker compose up -d. Okay, now let's move to the integration steps. So what we'll do first is we'll log in into the admin.google.com console. Okay, and then you need to go into the applications. So what we'll do is we'll create a SAML application here. So to do that, just click on web and mobile applications. And here I'll say add app, add custom SAML app. And I'll give it a name, Guacamole SAML. App icon, if you want to add, you can add. For now, I'll just leave it at default. Okay, so here are the SSO details, and you can join the metadata. We'll do that in a moment. For now, we'll say continue, and here you need to give the ACS URL. So the ACS URL you have to give it. Let me just, yeah. So for me, right? My ACS URL will be this one. So remember, this is my Guacamole link. So my FQDN first, and then Guacamole, and then API ext SAML callback, right? Entity ID. So my entity ID will be simply my FQDN, and prefix will be HTTPS. So that's it. You have to enable this signed response here. So I'll select this one and I will click on save. Okay. We will leave them as is for now and click on finish. Okay, so our app is created here. We'll just download this metadata. So this metadata is what we need. Now remember, our challenge is that Google does not give a URL for this metadata, right? So what we'll do is we'll download this file in the local system, and then we'll move this file to our virtual machine. And from our virtual machine, right, we will use .env to map it to a location in our Guacamole Docker container, right? So let's do it step by step so that you're also clear what we are doing. Yeah, so let me connect to our virtual machine, signature update. Okay, so let's go to Guacamole setup, and here I'll create a new directory by the name of metadata. Okay, so I have identified the problem. The problem was that we created this directory using root user, so the user didn't have the right set of permissions to create files and directories there. So I'll just use this command sudo chown ubuntu guacamole-setup to give the ownership permission to Ubuntu user. And yeah, post that we should be good here to create a new user. To create a new directory. Files new, and then directory. I'll name it as metadata. Okay, our directory is in place, and I'll just put this IDP metadata file that we have downloaded. That's in our desktop. I'll move it into this directory, and I'll also rename it. So let me show you what we have done here in our Docker compose file. So what we'll basically do is, let me just give this name first, Google-idp-metadata.xml to this file. So I'll just rename this one. Okay, Google-idp-metadata.xml. XML, right? So what we'll do is that we have mounted it to this path, etc guacamole Google IDP metadata.xml, and then colon arrow. Colon arrow will give us read permission, right? So let's go step by step. So first is we have given it the right name here. So if I go to my directory, where am I currently? Okay, cd guacamole hyphen setup and then metadata. Okay, here's for our file. And I'll just give read permission chmod 644 Google IDP metadata.xml. Okay, so now let's go back to our Guacamole setup directory and we'll edit our Docker compose files. Okay, so here, right, all SAML options, right? We have disabled them. So let's enable them one by one. SAML. Okay. Okay. And also this line is very important. So what we have did here is we have mounted this path from local system to this path within the Guacamole container. And this path again is important for us. So we just copy this path here. Okay. Let me save it and we'll go to our env file. So I'll say sudo vi dot env. Yeah. Okay. So here, let's say insert XML IDP metadata URL. Now, what I will do is I'll give the file path, file colon triple slash, and then the path that we have copied. Oh, I think I have added one additional slash, which should not be there. So now we have 1, 2, 3 slash, and then the path within the container, right? So if you will give the local system path here, it will just not work. So make sure that you mount it using Docker Compose file the way I have did it. SAML entity ID, so that will be simple queue.securityfocal.com SAML callback URL. So here callback URL I'll define as guacamole.com/guacamole. Okay, that's it. I think if our configuration is correct, we should be able to test it now. So let me do docker compose down and docker compose up minus d. So okay, so we should be good. Let's see how it goes. Let's quickly try to test it out. So I'll say new incognito window, and then I'll say queue.securityfocal.com/guacamole. It's redirecting. Yeah, it has redirected to our Google ID provider, right? So let me enter my credentials there. And app not enabled for user. Oh, good. There seems to be some issue. Okay, so our issue is basically here in the application because we have created the application, but currently it's set as off for everyone, right? So we'll just go to the application and we will set it as on. So edit, sorry, not from here. We will go here. Okay. Yeah. So services details, I'll change it to on for everyone, right? You can, of course, do it in a more granular way, assign it to a particular organization unit. Yeah, so that's it. We should be good. Let me close the earlier window and let's try now. Cuke.securityfocal.com/guacamole. Redirection is happening. Let me give the username Abhishek at coinsprinter.com. Okay. And while I'm inside the server, so I can go to the setting page and I have the administrative permission, right? So I can create additional users here and make give basically different permissions to the new users that I create here. So we are pretty good. Guys, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more interesting and useful videos like this one. Once again, thanks a lot for joining. Have a nice day ahead.